Screech by Taran NCT on AO3. Episode 6, Chapter 6. The days turned into weeks, and every Monday, Keigo made Izuku promise to stay alive for one more week. Every Wednesday, Izuku had therapy, and while it was going to be an uphill battle, Izuku could already see some improvement. He still had his dark thoughts, but he wasn't openly speaking ill of himself as much anymore. Part of that was thanks to his new brother. Hitoshi had purchased a small water gun, and every time he heard Izuku say something self-deprecating, he would squirt him like a misbehaved cat, and make him repeat himself in a more positive way. The first few times were really annoying, but after a few days, Izuku had managed to catch himself before Hitoshi squirted him. Every other day, Shouta and Hitoshi trained for the UA recommendation entrance exam, and they had invited Izuku to join them. Izuku readily accepted, and Shouta quickly realized that even though Izuku was a force to be reckoned with, he had no formal training, and it showed. Izuku had quickly decided, upon getting thrashed by Hitoshi while fighting quirkless, that he needed to learn how to use a weapon. He wasn't interested in learning Shouta's capture scarf. It'll just get in the way of his wings. But he was sure Shouta could teach him something else. So one night, while they were all at home, Hizashi and Hitoshi in the kitchen getting dinner ready, Izuku decided to ask Shouta about weapons training. Shouta? Izuku was sitting next to him while watching TV. Well, Izuku was watching TV. Shouta was running his fingers through Izuku's hair while looking at cat videos, grinning every time he heard Izuku hoot quietly. Shouta looked up from the video, giving Izuku his full attention, something Izuku was still getting used to. No one had ever cared enough to actually pay attention to him before. I was wondering, can you teach me how to use weapons? It's just all I have are my talons and Screech, and getting my ass handed to me by Hitoshi every single time we spar is kind of embarrassing. Izuku nudged his face onto Shota's shoulder, in a mix of embarrassment and really liking the way he played with his hair. Shouta huffed out an amused breath. Sure thing, kid. But you will have to keep something in mind in sparring with Hitoshi. I've been training that kid since he was 8. If he couldn't beat you in a spar, I'd be disappointed. Anyways, I was planning to bring up the thought of weapons tomorrow. How do you feel about a bow staff? When the day of the entrance exams came, Izuku wished Hitoshi good luck, and went to spend the day with Keigo. His own exam was going to be in just 3 days, and he was getting nervous. He was still on the fence about if he was ready to really show off his true strength. There was a difference between being the useless Deku he was, and being Screech. He was really hoping that a talk with Keigo would be able to help him get through this practical. So once again, he found himself up on a billboard with a bucket of chicken. So, you're worried about being yourself? Keigo asked. Well, yes. I mean, I've been the weak. I may not have a squirt gun, but if you keep talking like that, I'll bop you with a feather or shove you off this billboard, Keigo warned. Aizawa told me about what your other brother does every time you talk shit about yourself, and I'm getting in on that too. Oh, okay. I've been acting weak for my whole life, and being more confident is hard. I don't really know how to do it. I mean, I can do it when I have my Screech mask on, but I don't know if I can do it without the mask, Izuku said, fixing his statement. Better, Keigo acknowledged. As for the confidence, think of it like adopting your own hero persona. Yes, it's easier with a mask, but not all heroes wear masks. All the pros have a hero persona. Keigo paused for a moment, and then continued. Well, all the spotlight pros do. I don't think Eraserhead would be able to do a hero persona if his life depended on it. You don't really have one, do you? I mean, you seem like the same person every time I see you, Izuku pointed out. Oh, I do, my baby bird. I most certainly do. The thing is, a hero persona is merely taking an aspect of your personality and enhancing it. I'm an easygoing guy, and not a lot really gets to me. I take that part of my personality, and I maintain the attitude when doing pretty much everything. Izuku thought about that for a minute. Did he do something like that? Could he do something like that? Maybe he already did. After all, Screech was powerful. Screech was confident. Screech was able to fight back and protect others. Present Mike has a hero persona too. You really think he'd be able to be as unrecognizable out of costume as he is if he was the same person in costume as he is out? You see him on a daily. Is that really what you picture when you imagine Present Mike? Keigo ruffled his hair. Izuku kept thinking. Keigo was making some really good points. But how was he supposed to make a hero persona for himself? Come here, turn around. I want to bring your feathers, little bro. Izuku chirped in excitement and let Keigo have full access to his feathers. If I have my mask on, it comes pretty easy to me, Izuku said, before letting out a content hoot as Keigo gave him a light scratch at the base of his wings. But I don't think I could wear my mask while at UA. True, you probably can't. Or at least you probably shouldn't. Keigo ran his fingers through the white and gray feathers, straightening them. What makes you Screech? Describe Screech to me, as if I never met Screech. Izuku thought for a minute. Screech is confident, he stated. Screech is a proud protector, someone who wants to maintain the peace in his territory. He's you. Stop talking in third person. Keigo corrected gently. I'm confident. I'm a proud protector, and I want to maintain peace in my territory. Izuku whispers. But Keigo, I'm not really confident. I do, and have always wanted to protect people, but I've never been confident outside my Screech act. Then keep the act up. Baby bird, every hero out there has to be able to stand strong, be able to put forth an aura of safety. They need to be able to let civilians know that they'll be okay now. The hero is here. You already do that as Screech, but now you need to do that as Izuku. Keigo pulled him into a hug. I have faith in you, Owlette. You'll do great. Izuku was still a little worried about how he was going to do in the practical exam, since he still wasn't really used to using his quirk in front of people. But he promised both Shouta and Keigo he would do his best. And his best included using his quirk. So, he was going to go into that exam as Screech, not as the useless Deku he's been acting his entire life. He was going to try to remain confident, like Keigo had said. He had managed to complete the written exam with little trouble. He always knew he was smart, and that his low grades were because of his teachers messing with him. So the exam being easy wasn't a surprise. Seeing Hizashi in his full present Mike persona threw him for a loop, though. After living with him for the past 3 weeks, and the conversation he had with Kie about hero personas, Izuku was able to really appreciate what a hero persona truly was. Izuku had practically forgotten just how extra Present Mike was. The man on stage was not the same man that gave him warm hugs and cooked pancakes with chocolate chip grins for breakfast. Izuku had stars in his eyes as he watched Hizashi explain about the practical exam, the different robots he would have to face, and even how he reacted when some blue-haired student interrupted him. Hizashi, Present Mike, was so cool. After everyone was given their instructions and released from the auditorium, Izuku headed to his group's exam area. He chose not to stand all that close to the entrance gate. It was a pretty big gate, and he could easily fight through it. No need to risk himself crushed in the masses of body all trying to get in at the same time. He was ready. He knew he could do this. Izuku bounced a bit on the balls of his feet, ready to spread his wings. All he needed was for Hizashi to yell out, Go! And Izuku was off. He spread his wings and took off like a bullet, speeding past the first few robots, not wanting to risk hurting anyone with his Screech, which is exactly what he unleashed in a cone about 20 meters into the battleground, at a group of 3 pointer robots. In one move, Izuku had gotten 12 points. He could do this. Time seemed to flash by, Izuku taking out robots with a Screech when no one was nearby, but dropping to the ground and using his talons when someone was about to get hurt by a robot they hadn't noticed. He had lost count of his points, but he was sure he was doing fairly well, when all of a sudden, he felt the ground shake. Izuku took off from the ground to try and see what was happening, and saw the biggest robot he had ever seen emerge. The 0-pointer. The OP. Of course, why wouldn't it be OP? Remembering that Hizashi had suggested to avoid it, Izuku turned around and made a flight, ready to see if he could pick off a few smaller robots, when he heard a pain-filled cry. Help! Izuku let his hearing guide his eyes, and he saw a girl with brown bob cut pinned under a slab of concrete, and he dived, aiming a Screech on the OP on the way to push it back and give him some extra time to work. Hey, are you okay? He asked the girl. My leg, it's stuck, she cried. Yeah, I got that. I mean, are you hurt? If I can just stab that off, can you run? Or do you need me to carry you? Izuku retorted. I think my ankle is sprained, she answered. Okay. Izuku tried to move the concrete slab, but it was just a bit too heavy for him to do anything with it. He sighed, and then said, Cover your ears. Once she had her ears covered, he took a breath and screeched at the slab of concrete, breaking it apart, and emerging the girl to escape. He picked her up, and he was flying her back to the entrance. He heard Hizashi call out, And that is time! All of the remaining Bulbots stopped moving, and Izuku located a field medic. He thought it was Recovery Girl, and flew down with the girl. Izuku felt pretty good about his performance. Shouta was in the observation room, watching the start of the practical, grinning like a maniac as Izuku took off and streaked through the gates. He was very proud to see his little owl son embracing his quirk in the exam, knowing full well that he wasn't originally planning to use it at all. In case anyone was wondering, Screech is mine, Shouta informed the rest of the teachers. Midoriya already lives with you, Nezu pointed out. You should give Vlad the chance to have him in his class. Shouta glared at Vlad, silently daring him to agree with Nezu. No, Aizawa can have him, he said nervously. Shouta grinned, and turned his gaze back to the monitors. Good answer. Yeah, that checks out. I find that hilarious. That checks out, pretty much. Ugh, I'm tired. I'm tired today. This was a very nice chapter. Obviously, we have Izuku absolutely nailing it. So I'm gonna predict here, he got #1 on most villainy points and most heroic points. Am I right or am I wrong? I'm probably wrong. Or maybe I'm right. I don't know. He's either 1. No, I would say 1 or 2, but I'm just gonna say 1. He's #1. I'm gonna say 1. I'm gonna go ballsy. 1. As for Hitoshi, I'm glad that he's getting in through recommendations. This is something that I've had to fix on my fanfiction because I kind of forgot about recommendations and I was like, fuck, recommendations. And, I'm changing some shit up, so... Yeah. Unfortunately, things are gonna happen. Stuff is just have to be rearranged. It's not like a big change that I have to do. It's a smaller change that's relatively easy to fix. But it's a little annoying if I have to say so myself. But this was a really interesting chapter. I'll say. This chapter was nice. It was. I love Hitoshi, fucking like just going no with a spray bottle. I just have that image in my mind, and that's absolutely hilarious. Also, I love the preening thing. birds normally preen each other, whether it be because it's their mate or because of their like family and stuff, right? Like stuff like that, right? So that is super cute. That is super nice. That is so, I love that. That is adorable. I also love how they constantly say that he hoots a little bit when he's happy, which, oh my god, that is so adorable now that I think about it. Like, that is adorable. That is beyond adorable. Also, yeah, I've been a little busy, clearly, because I have started a new job. Then I'm looking into applying into a college, and then obviously I have YouTube and stuff like that and all their other responsibilities. And I'm just trying to find a balance. So there might be some days where I just don't post, or there's a certain series that I don't post. That's just simply because I have no time. And my management of time is really, really bad. Like right now, I should have started recording this moments ago, and instead I started recording it right now. But yeah, as always, my raindrops, make sure to eat, sleep, drink water, take your meds. Have a wonderful day or night. Link to my Discord server and socials are down in the description. Subscribe to see more of my content, and thank you so much for watching.